Hi there, welcome to the Lad Mix Farm channel. It's Arthur here. And in today's episode, we are going to look at actually how you can quit your full-time job and go into full-time farming. For you to be able to do that, first and foremost, you need to be very, very passionate about farming. You need to have this fire in you, this desire to really do farming. It should be something that you feel you're going to enjoy. That's going to be very, very helpful at some point. I remember it's not going to be easy at the start, at the beginning. The first year is going to be a little bit tough because remember, you've been used to getting a monthly salary, and this time you're going to be dependent on seasonal harvests or annual harvests, or more if you're doing, for instance, animals and so forth, and banana plantations and so forth. So you can imagine, you will need to have that level of patience to be able to move through. Now, this calls for ensuring that you have a stable side income to help you move. This side income will help you run the farm before you can start getting anything from the farm. It's important before you quit your job or before you come into full-time farming that you have a stable source of income. If you don't have that, at least you should have saved and have some resources that can support you for a year plus. That becomes a very good cushion as you actually look go into farming. Remember, things will not always go as you had planned. You'll do your crop, you expect to harvest a certain amount of volume, but because of climate change and other vagaries of weather, you find that you've not harvested at your expectations. And this can demoralize you to some level. But when you have this other income, or when you have your savings, it gives you the flexibility to see how you can diversify and try something else as well as you try to redo this. Let's say if you had planted maize or beans and didn't do well and you'd like to retry it, but at the same time, ensuring that you're also diversifying. It's very, very key because this is very helpful for a farmer not to really pour your resources into one basket, but try to have several enterprises on the farm that can give you this income. Now, as I told you, waiting for a year calls for patience. But at the same time, when you have this side income, when you have these savings, you are going to really need to be very frugal and be very, very, calculative on how you do your expenses. Remember, this is the only saving you have. So once it gets done, before you actually stabilize in getting income, it will be a challenge. So that's why I'm calling upon the person who's coming to full-time farming to at the same time be frugal with the resources he has saved. You can deny yourself and say you are not going to enjoy yourself and have those pleasures you've been having before, and say no, you can only resume once you start seeing some income coming off your farm. That is going to be very, very key. Now, I'll give you an example. When I joined full-time farming, I actually came and planted an acre of garlic. But this acre of garlic didn't do well. Because of climate change, we suddenly had a prolonged, sunshine. And I didn't have the capacity to water this 1 acre because it was not near a water source. So I actually almost lost everything. And it's what I had hoped that would actually help me start giving me this income to run the farm as I tried to stabilize. It didn't work out. So you can imagine if I didn't have this fire that keeps moving me, or this passion, this love for farming, I would have easily gotten demoralized. But still, this comes also when, just to let you know that when I came into full-time farming, I was working and then my contract ended. Of course, I saw it coming, but I had not yet actually saved enough. I thought I would maybe have an extension of the contract, which didn't come to pass. So I decided to dive in. But that calls for this inner love and this strong passion and the determination to push through. So after diving in without enough resources, I still got this challenge of the garlic not performing very well. So it became double jeopardy. But I kept on. I pushed on. I denied myself entirely. I decided to come and reside at the farm and be able to participate, you see? And that's what has kept me moving. And also making sure that I move on with what I can ably try to support. Reduce on the workforce, go with the workforce that you can manage, start with the magnitude that one can manage, and that's what I opted for. And that's what has gotten me to this point. So it's very possible to come into full-time farming, but please put these considerations in place as you come in. It will be very, very helpful, and it will give you that level of at least support as you move forward. And thank you so much. This is what we had for you today. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining with us. We value your presence. Welcome to the Lad Mixed Farm family. See you next time. Bye.